Hi friends, welcome to the Shits and Gigs podcast, where the vibe is high, the humor gets raunchy, and things get spicy when we talk about food. I'm your host, Meg Davis, and we are here tonight for an episode of Bath Bombz, so I hope you are somewhere, anywhere, getting relaxed, sitting back, maybe pouring a glass of rosé, and enjoying this episode where we're going to do some big picture thinking on trees. It's going to get deep, guys. Just casual thoughts I had on a drive to a baby shower. But in all seriousness, I've been feeling really good lately, and I have been doing a couple big things in regards to, I think, how I've been showing up differently for myself. First things first, trying to do my best with no broken promises with myself. So big ones for me are waking up, having a tall glass of water, starting off my morning directly after that with my 30 push-ups, and I do like 5 minutes of core stabilization and hip mobility. Definitely check out my Instagram at megdavis.healthcoach. I have a reel that goes over my entire morning routine, and I really think it has been positively affecting my body in a huge way. So definitely check that out. And then I've been really trying to do my best with tracking my macros again and actually attempting to hit them. Tracking is a skill that I think is so empowering. It can be tedious. However, I 10 out of 10 always feel my best when I'm tracking and hitting those numbers that are calculated for my specific body's needs in regards to my age, weight, height, and then also my consistent activity level. So if you're curious about macro coaching, definitely check out Nacho Average Prep on Patreon, or feel free to DM me on my Instagram, and I would be happy to do a complimentary wellness eval with you and hopefully find some areas of empowerment in your day and introduce you to macro counting and what that looks like for you. Small tangent there. But getting back to it, another thing that I've been doing is getting outside. I am definitely solar powered, is how I like to say it. And gardening has brought a whole new level of serenity and healing and peace postpartum for me. And it also has just been key to kind of getting reconnected with romanticizing my life again and just taking action, small action each day to just make life a little extra special for myself. Because we all deserve that. We all work so hard. And we kind of get lost in that, just like wake up, go to work, come home, eat dinner, whatever, and like go to bed. And we don't take enough time or action, I feel, to like make life a little extra special. Like use the fancy, glassware for your water just because, or have fresh blooms on the table always just because you deserve it and it makes you happy. Just simple little things like that have been huge. And in our backyard, I've been attempting to recreate Santorini because I am on my vision board, and our vision board is to go to Greece. I am way more excited about it than Josh is. However, since that trip is not really in the financial cards right now, I am going to go ahead and create Santorini in our backyard, and that has been bringing me a lot of joy. So anyways, I've been spending more time outside. And when we were driving to this baby shower, we were baby free. So like my mental load was kind of like lessened in that way. And then your girl took a couple hits in the car, and I was just feeling good. It was like a 2-hour drive. But I was like really kind of intentionally looking around out the window for once and not on my phone. And I just happened to spot this like old looking tree, and it had like really big, like chunks of bark. I don't really know how to describe it other than saying what I'm about to say. And it just made me think, like, they kind of look like trees, bark patterns kind of look like wrinkles. And like when you think about it, it's interesting because I would have to pay attention to a new tree that's growing, but I feel like all of the stems are very smooth to start, and then they start to have this like rough bark whenever they start to grow and expand, and that skin per se, that outer layer, is continuing to stretch and expand. So that's pretty freaking cool to think about. And for being a woman specifically, that's kind of nature's way that I see of kind of just embracing the wrinkles. Like who cares that we get wrinkles? Why is it a big deal? Like, aging is beautiful, and we're not meant to look young or survive forever. Everything dies and goes through its cycle. So why are we so hell-bent on getting rid of this like natural process, essentially? Like, who cares that you got a wrinkle? That means you smiled a lot or whatever. So that was a really interesting thought I had about trees, and that kind of then dominoed into this 30-minute conversation with myself in my head about how I feel like the answers to leading a whole life, a happy life, a healthy life are like all around us. And we just are so blind to it. We're just so eager for that instant gratification that we don't even consider to slow down and just look around us. Like, I heard a fact the other day that blew my mind. My husband said he watched a Joe Rogan podcast. I don't know who it was on, but he mentioned that our country is only 3 people old, which that's if life expectancy is 100 years old. But like, that's wild to think about. Like, our country is so immature compared to China, who is like 400 people year old. So I think that's kind of why we're a fucking mess right now, guys. We are so young and immature, and we are just so blind to the basics of just leading a wholesome, like, collaborative life together, I think. And I really think the answers are all around us on this thing that we're all just floating on that's been around for billions of years. Like, if nature and this planet has somehow survived, even though we are completely trashing it, like, they're doing something right. So maybe we should take a gander and take some notes on things like trees. So yeah, let's embrace our wrinkles. Who cares? Because trees are owning it and they're beautiful. So another thing, let's see, what else did I think up? Every year, the fall, trees shed their dead weight. My brain instantly went to like an annual detox. Maybe this is something we should consider. Based on research on things that I've looked into, they actually recommend detoxing in between all seasons because the produce and things change. However, since we pretty much have everything available to us all the time, maybe we should consider just doing an annual detox in the fall and see how we feel. I don't know. I'm going to give it a try and see what happens. And maybe this is like a whole lifestyle we can consider, just taking into account what each season brings. We'll call it like the nature's calling lifestyle. I don't know. Fall, we'll detox. Winter, we'll consider things like yoga and Pilates and like slow, elongated movements. And we can maybe, with nutrition in the winter, consider bulking or like hearty foods and soups and like things that are warm and cozy. And then come the spring, our goal is to kind of get outside more and go for long walks and maybe like boot camps or things like that to kind of intensify things. And at this point, we can choose to whether we want to like maintain a certain physique or change things up and go through a cut cycle or something. Think like fresh produces and things like that. So I don't know, just some thoughts I had. I think it's really interesting when you start to just pay attention to like what's happening around you. And did you know that if you cut down a tree and the stump is left, that even maybe a year down the road, it may take that long, there will be new growth always, which is so crazy. Like, how does a tree do that? First off, maybe we need to consider like the nitty-gritty of this statement, but that to me was just like, whoa, like if a tree can persevere after literally being chopped in half, that just goes to prove like no matter what you face in life, even the most terrible things like losing a child or a spouse or a parent or anyone that's like a significance in your life and your routine, or losing your job and maybe you were making really great money and it kind of came out of nowhere and now your life is totally going to pivot. It just goes to show like no matter what, like it might be fucking hard, but you're going to make it through and you're going to persevere, and then you can continue to grow and like just create this new branch of life. I know, guys, I told you I was going to get deep. Seeds have also taught me a lot. They taught me patience and trust. Patience because I'm admittedly impatient, I've learned, because our society is so fast-paced and there's always that pressure to do everything like right away or receive it right away. And so seeds have taught me that it takes weeks sometimes to see a result. And just also that trust, like, if like you're pouring into you or like said seed, like if you're giving yourself food, water, shelter, sleep, all the necessities, then you just have to trust that like everything's going to be okay and you're going to function. And like it's all going to work out. And same with the seed. Like you just have to trust that if you're giving it the water and the sunlight and whatever, like it's going to grow. 9 times out of 10. Sometimes you have a bad seed, but that's life. Flowers have taught me that beauty comes in all shapes and sizes. There's no 2 flowers that are exactly the same. And leaves, so this is more like houseplant knowledge for me, or sometimes our trees in the backyard will kind of give me this thought process also. But leaves are like a tree's symptom calculator. I don't know if there's a better way to describe that, or symptom indicator maybe is a better way to say that. And say like it's a yellow leaf, or maybe it's like dried up and shriveled or something. If we don't tend to like the root cause of that discoloration or dryness, then either that leaf is going to die or that entire plant is going to die, depending on what it could be. So it's no different. Like if you are currently experiencing back pain, headaches, fatigue, unexpected you can't sleep at night, insomnia, any of those things, and you're just ignoring it and just dealing with it, you have no idea what kind of damage that could be causing you both physically and mentally. And it could be taking like years off of your life. So I highly recommend, if you're going through anything intense and you haven't already been attempting to get answers, that you take the time to do that for yourself this year, because you deserve it. And if you don't, who knows what could happen. I think our world is just so hyped up on this fast-paced bullshit, basically, when all I'm seeing is signs to slow down, to trust and embrace all parts of the journey, be present and give a shit, essentially, about yourself. And I'm here to tell you that everyone deserves to say F off to everyone else for at least 5 minutes a day. You got to do it. You deserve it. And I don't know. So, for example, going back to like that immature comment, we all just expect to look a certain way, even though 80% or more are ignoring these basics. Drinking water every day, eating food to fuel your body and not just crap, moving your body, whether it just be walking or stretching. I would be willing to bet that 7 out of 10 people would volunteer for a BBL immediately than committing to 30 squats a day for an entire year. No doubts there. 7 out of 10 people, easy route, end of story. And we all point fingers at each other when half of the problem is ourselves. Just saying. Slap in the face there, but myself included, like, if something feels out of balance, like, self-check moment. What's going on? Just some low-key thoughts, again, on my way to a baby shower. And no, but really, it did get pretty deep, and I hope you guys got some insights and can be inspired, as I have, in nature by embracing big picture thinking on trees and everything they have to offer us as far as knowledge of living a healthy, happy, present life. I challenge you to pay more attention to yourself and to nature and see what happens. Let's wrap this baby up with a wellness mocktail. This week, guys, I know I usually keep it to teas, but I've been having this combo and I just can't get enough of it. It is a coffee float. Again, if you ever want to try any of these wellness mocktails, feel free to swing by Monday through Friday, 6:30 to 2:30 at Elevated Nutrition in West Greenwich, Rhode Island. Or we're also there Saturdays, 8 to 1. So my new fave that I've been whipping up is a mocha coffee float with a Black Raz Chip shake. So how we execute this one, what you're going to need is 2 scoops of the mocha protein coffee. You're going to want a larger cup. We usually use a 32-ounce cup. Put a little splash of water in the bottom, and you're gonna froth 2 scoops of the mocha protein coffee. All the products I am partnered with are Herbalife Nutrition. Been partnered with them for over 8 years. Could not be happier with their continued vision and pivots and things like ingredients and their mission. So anyways, 2 scoops of mocha coffee frothed in the bottom of a cup. And then in a blender, you'll want 8 ounces of water. You're going to do 2 scoops of cookies and cream Formula 1, which is essentially a meal replacement shake. This is jam-packed with all your major macros and micronutrients as well. And then 1 scoop of the chocolate protein drink mix. Our protein drink mix is essentially a milk replacement, so all we have to use is that water and ice. So it keeps the calories and fats low. And then for this one, you're going to do half a cup of frozen raspberries, 1 tablespoon of the chocolate creamy flavoring mix, or you could get just a regular pudding mix at the market. Just be careful with aspartame and some other additives that are typically in that type of thing in the market. We use the Herbalife brand, and they're all stevia based, which is awesome. And then lastly, add in 2 tablespoons of chocolate chips. And then I would say about a cup of ice. Everyone's blender is a little different. However, your goal is, or at least my goal typically, is to get a nice smooth, thick texture, kind of like a milkshake. So I blend for about a minute and 15 seconds sometimes. And then my goal, so here's my secret. You know you have the perfect shake when you get a little bubble on top. After you press stop, you'll see it. Once you get it, you'll never forget it, I guess is a way to say it. Once you get it, you'll never forget it. So look for the bubble. If not, come by, I'll show you what I mean. You're gonna blend that shake as is until you get your bubble, and then you're gonna pour that over your mocha protein coffee. If you wanna get bougie, you can add a chocolate swirl in the cup and some chippies on top. This gives you both energy and nutrients. The protein coffee is formulated with 85 milligrams of coffee caffeine. And then, like I said, the shake itself has all your major macronutrients and is jam-packed with the 21 essential vitamins and minerals that is essential for body functioning. And it also has some fruit in there, so some antioxidants. So really just a powerhouse. I had this for lunch today, actually. Super low cal, nutrient dense option. It's 348 calories, 33 grams of protein, 34 grams of carbs, and 10 grams of fat. So definitely super great option if you feel like you're on the go a lot and you need a quick and easy something to just sip on while you're doing your thing. Or if you want to come by, you could totally try this out. Again, it's a Black Raz Chip coffee float with mocha coffee on the bottom. All right, friends, that's all I got for you today. Have a great day, and I'll talk to you next time. Toodles.